What were your thoughts about going up against someone who you'd never played before?
Well, I had to do, I guess, extra homework and research on his game, on his patterns, and obviously speak to some of the players that played him before, and just get out there and try to focus on execution of the game plan. Obviously, today was a perfect match for me from the first to the last point. I executed everything that I intended to, and even more than I have expected.
Novak, well, we're going to have another final between you and Rafa. You're both over 30. Rafa said yesterday that he needs to adapt his game to his age. What do you adapt to your age? I mean, recovering your game, how do you explain that you're still dominating the game over 30?
I have a slightly different approach. I adapt the age to the game. I don't feel at the moment that my body has any significant wear and tear that would compromise my game. So my game is pretty much the same. Of course, looking to improve as anybody else, but generally seeing and feeling the game is quite similar to what I have had throughout my career. So I will not change anything for the moment.
Did you watch Rafa's match, and did you go out with the intention of conceding fewer games than he did?
Yes. And it was hard to do that, but somehow managed. He has played impressively well throughout the entire tournament. He hasn't dropped a set. I mean, he looked as good as ever on the hard court throughout these few weeks. I haven't played bad myself last couple of matches, so I think that this finals comes at the right time for both of us, and I'm sure we're going to have a blast on the court. We can promise one thing, and that's knowing both of us that we're going to give absolutely everything out on the court. I think that people will enjoy it. I will, of course, try to play as well as I have so far. Of course, playing Rafa requires a different approach tactically. I'm sure it's the same from his side towards me. He's my biggest rival that in my career. I've played so many matches against him, epic matches on this court. Of course, the one that stands out was the finals of 6 hours almost in 2012, and hopefully we don't go that long this time, but I'm sure we're going to have a good finals.
So years from now, when you're describing that 2012 match to your children or your grandchildren, how will you describe it?
The 2012? It's a good question. How would I describe it? I'll probably not have them sit down and watch it, because I don't like my children to watch TV that long. But I would probably present it in more a general concept of our rivalry, and that match would be icing on the cake, I guess. So as I said, Nadal has historically throughout my life and career been the greatest rival that I ever played against on all the surfaces, and some matches that we had against each other were a great turning points in my career. I feel like that have made me rethink my game, and I had some disappointing moments where I lost to him. I think I lost to him 9 times so far in the Grand Slams, and I lost to him some tough matches in finals and semis in French Open and US Open. I won some also great matches. So I mean, those kind of encounters have also made me the player I am today, without a doubt. And these are kind of matches that you live for. You know, finals of slams, playing the greatest rival at their best. You know, what more can you ask for? I mean, this is where you want to be.
You mentioned on the court that this match probably won't be as long as that last one because of that super tiebreak, but it seems like Rafa's really kind of keeping points a lot shorter, determined to keep matches a lot shorter for his body. Do you think it would be beneficial for you to kind of make the match longer, get him through longer exchanges, to kind of test his body, considering he's so soon back from injury?
Well, you don't not necessarily want to get into long exchanges with Nadal. But you know, I think my 1-2 punch has worked pretty well as you know, throughout this tournament. So the good thing is that I'm really feeling comfortable on the court, hitting the ball. I can get into the court. I can step back. I can defend. You know, I'm comfortable doing whatever it takes. So I'm gonna get out there and obviously try to dictate the play, but it's easier said than done, you know, against Nadal. Just depends how we both start, and throughout, you know, the match, I guess you're gonna have to be present and get a feel of how it evolves. And sometimes it will require to be a little bit more patient, with more construction of the point. Sometimes just to maybe attack more, and we'll see. I mean, he has improved his serve. I saw he has a slightly different service motion, and that has worked very well. I think, you know, with everything he possesses, all the qualities in his game, adding to that also a lot of free points on the serve, you know, makes him much tougher to play against. And that's why I think he managed to have a lot of success with the shorter points because of the serve. I think he's backing his first shot up with that great serve and saving energy, and then he can go for more in the return game. So, but at the same time, you know, it's quite different playing against me and I'm me against him. So you know, I think it adds more maybe pressure on his serve and my serve as well, because we return well and we've been playing well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I can't take you through every point of that match obviously now, but we can get a sense of what we're about to experience, and hopefully it's going to have we're all going to have a good time.
When we look at the results you had last year, the Nadal match at Wimbledon seems to be sort of the breakthrough in your comeback. Is that how you see it? And if so,
Yeah.
what actually worked for you that made it that breakthrough?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was the match that has mentally turned things around for me mostly. I feel like I started the grass court season well. I played finals of Queens and got to semis of Wimbledon, but you know, winning against Nadal 10-8 in the fifth set, that has catapulted me, I think, mentally to a different, more confident self, and has allowed me to then excel in the months to come after that.
Novak, just on a personal level, what would it mean to win a 7th Australian Open title, which would be a record, more so than Ryan Emerson and Roger Federer? And what is it about this particular place that you excel more so than the other ones?
I mean, look, you know, there's so much at stake. It's hard to pick one thing. I mean, obviously, making history of the sport that I love is an honor, and is a privilege, and it's a huge motivation. But at the same time, there's, you know, Nadal is across the net. We're playing finals of Grand Slam. You know, for the record, you know, 7th title here, and it's just, if you don't get motivated by all these things, then something is wrong, you know. Why this place?
Yeah, why?
Well, I think I've said many times before that it's a combination of several things. First of all, I mean, I'm not the only one that feels really comfortable in Australia, in Melbourne. There's a lot of players that really feel like at home and feel very welcomed here. It's the beginning of the season. Everyone is fresh and ready to jumpstart their year. There's a great tennis buzz and fever going around in the month of January throughout the whole Australia. And I think conditions of play, obviously, the court, the balls, everything is quite suitable to my style of the game. So all of these things combined probably allow me to excel here.
Novak, how often do you have a match like tonight where, as you said, from the first point to the last, you did everything you wanted and then some? How rare are those nights?
Well, I hope that they can become more frequent. But yeah, you have, I mean, in the past I've played some tournaments, specifically here in Australia. I've had some terrific matches, couple matches in a row where I would win, comfortably in straight sets. But considering the occasion and circumstances and playing semi-finals here, this is definitely one of the best matches I've played on Rod Laver Arena in my career. You just happen to be in that zone, that we all strive for. Every professional athlete wants to be in the zone where everything flows so effortlessly and you are executing automatically everything you are intending to execute, and you don't need to think too much. You're just driven by some force that takes over you, and you feel divine. You feel like in a different dimension. So it's quite an awesome feeling that we all try to reach and stay in, but sometimes it's probably the biggest challenge. I think is to how to repeat that, how to stay there for as long as you possibly can. Now again, it depends on how you feel that day, who is across the net, various things. It's an individual sport, so everything really depends on you, how you emotionally cope with all these things. And sometimes you feel just maybe more anxious and nervous because of who is across the net or occasion, or maybe something tenses up in your body and you're not striking the ball as smoothly. And it really takes a long time, I guess, to get to that stage or phase where you have so much confidence and everything flows, but it takes such a little time to lose it, and that's why we all are very committed and very aware that professionalism really gets you to that state of mind and play where everything flows.
Well, you pretty much touched on what I was going to ask, Novak, but with all your skill sets, you've gotten to so many finals. Is it game plan, is it fitness, or is the mental side so important? And talk about feeling the intensity that Rafa gives his foes out there on the court.
Well, the intensity that he brings on the court is immense, without a doubt. Probably the most intense tennis player that I have witnessed and played against, and it makes you be alert, so to say, from the very first point. And that's why I think the quality of tennis is 100% right away. I mean, it needs to be, because he makes you play that kind of tennis. It doesn't allow you to kind of ease your way into the match. And I think, well, physically, definitely, you need to be fit, ready to battle, ready to run for hours. And it definitely helps if you have not spent too much time prior to the finals on the court. And I think we both have not spent too much time, so we both are going to be physically fine. But mentally and emotionally, obviously, I think we'll will do it for both of us. I think that will allow us to cross the finish line as a winner. You know, who is able to kind of stay more focused, more determined. Is going to cope with a pressured moment better. It's no secret, you know. That's something that you know, we have experienced against each other and against anybody else, for that matter, throughout the last 15 years so many times. And I think that experience that we both have will play an important role as well.
Novak, you clearly relish the challenge of playing Rafa. Can you enjoy it, enjoy the battle while you're in the middle of it?
Sure, if I'm winning, of course. Yes, I mean, look, the Wimbledon semi-finals this year, finals of Australian Open 2012, you know, those are the matches that just come to my mind right now, where, you know, it feels like it's unfair if you have one winner, you know, those kind of matches where you go the distance and you push each other to the very limit. And of course you want to come out as a winner out of those matches, but at the same time understanding that you really took everything you have out on the court and you left your heart, you can be content with that. And that's what makes you, I guess, enjoy it more, because you're not regretting or you're not feeling like you're leaving something out in your tank. When you go full out emotionally, mentally, physically, then you might as well enjoy it.